Hi guys, happy Tuesday. How are you doing? Again, it's Tuesday, so every Tuesday I come to you with a live talking about your content, your strategies, whether that's email or social media, things of that nature. So that's what I'm here talking about today. You guys know that I have this monthly membership for bookkeepers where every week I provide pre-written content specifically for them, and I now have a collection of 20 weeks worth of content. So I have put in place a system that may help you write your content, so I wanted to share with you what I do and how I do it, and the why behind it, the strategy, so that if you're still bootstrapping your own post, this will help give you a good starting point and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and jump in, talk more about how to really add to your social media game and why I do what I do in the membership I have, okay? All right, so I have this content membership. And what I do is every week I send out a week's worth of either fully pre-written posts or post ideas. So one of the things that I do is I provide 3 almost fully pre-written posts. It's like Mad Libs for your business. There's a little bit of fill in the blank to make it personalized. However, it's pre-written for you, so you just kind of plug and play. Here's something to keep in mind. For those 3 pre-written posts, only one of them is selling. Now there's an important rule for that. There's what you do on social media marketing and all the stuff that you write is called content marketing. And there's a content marketing rule called the 80-20 rule. So what you're kind of doing is 80% of the time you should be providing value, and 20% of the time that's when you can sell. Because you don't want your feed and your content to just be a commercial. Think about it. When a commercial comes on the TV, you immediately change the channel. You don't want to be the channel that they change. You don't want it to just be straight selling all the time, because no one will tune in or listen. You need to provide value 80% of the time so you can sell 20% of the time. Now, I will be honest, once you have like your audience primed, once you have relationships built, you can get away with selling more often. It's something I found like in my business more recently, but especially starting out, if you're brand new, especially on social media, the 80-20 rule is a really good thing. So once again, that's why when I have these fully pre-written posts, 2 of them are not directly selling, only 1 of them is, because you're trying to build relationships. Once again, you're marketing on social media, there's a social media element. So let me get into the 4 types of posts that I help provide. So the 4 types that I stick to, every week I have a whole like system. Anyone who's a part of my membership knows this already, but I have 4 types: engagement posts, personal posts, value posts, and sales posts. All of them have a specific reason, all of them are strategic and in there, and I encourage you to use all of them in your content too. So let me get into why I use each one and what I mean by each one. All right, so first time, engagement. By this I mean anything fun that will get people commenting on your post. If people comment on your post, and especially if you reply to them in conversation, not only are you having a conversation with them and helping get to know each other, you're bumping your algorithm. Comments on your post, and especially when you comment back quickly, it's a good indicator to Facebook. If you keep doing that, your visibility will go up. That's what you want. So this is basically a supplement. It feels weird, I know, for people who want to have a more professional feed or appearance. It feels a little weird to post things like, do you break your spaghetti noodles or not? Do you prefer Pepsi or Coke? Do you put pineapples on your pizza? Or putting up something you pulled from Pinterest, like you're on a desert island, what 3 items would you bring? Stuff like that. That feels weird. On Facebook it works. LinkedIn probably not so much with those kinds of things. That's a whole other thing. But when you're on social media, part of it is being social. And it is strategic. It's not just throwing that stuff out there for no reason. It's helping your algorithm. It's helping your more valuable posts be more visible. So once again, like I said, Pinterest is a really great source for interactive game pictures, like the crosswords, first 3 words you see, or your 2020, things of that nature. You're encouraging people to post. You're encouraging people to talk about themselves. That is a really big thing when it comes to your content. You want them to feel like you're asking about them. It's never about you. It's about them. It's a very key part of your content. So with engagement, find ways to make it fun for them to comment, fun for it to make it about them. Again, it's strategic, it's intentional, it's supporting the rest of your content that's a little more business focused. So that's the engagement stuff. It's fun and stuff like that. Once again, this is a balance. All four of these types of posts are in here for a reason. They work well together in like an overall balance. So another type of post, this is one I always include. A fully pre-written post with some fill in the blanks is a personal post. So people buy on emotion, people buy from people they like. You know, there are plenty of, I'm sure, bigger companies with bigger backgrounds and fancier degrees than me, but you guys like to work with me. You guys listen to me because you know me. I'm a person. I show up, I put my face on your Facebook feed, and then you keep hiring me. Fantastic. So when you make personal connections, it matters for your business. It's a more relational side of marketing. So what you want to do is try and connect on a personal values level. And if you do it right with these personal posts, you're simultaneously letting them get to know you and your values, and also getting to know them as well. Okay, so here's one of my most important tips for you if you're doing this. My favorite model for this that works really well and doesn't take a long post is an ask, share, ask model. Now what I mean by that is you start with a question about them. Once again, your content should be pointed to your clients, right? Ask them a question. Ask them something that you have in common. You ask a question, you share your story related to that question, and then you ask again. There's copywriting things for that. Part of it is, one, only the first couple lines are visible in your post. You want it to be about them. Two, when you share, you are encouraging reciprocity. Think about it. When you're like at a bar or on a campfire, if someone shares stories about themselves, you're more likely to share a similar story, right? So if you're sharing your story, they're more likely to share theirs, right? Reciprocity, that's how we work as people. We like to swap stories. And then you ask again at the bottom. This is a copywriting thing. People tend to read the top and the bottom of content and kind of skip the middle. So therefore, even if they don't really read a lot about your story, what can you do? You're still making sure that you make it about them at two different points where they're really most likely to read. So one thing I have in my strategy for these 20 weeks is I have a whole list of things that I've put together over time, a list of commonalities. So think of, everyone's been a kid. Think of first things, first kiss, first car, first year in high school, first prom, things of that nature, first boyfriend or girlfriend. Think of other things you have in common, especially with your clients. Do you have a lot of moms are you a mother with a lot of moms for clients? Tell stories about your kids. Pop culture is a really good one. It's also really good for like visuals. So talk about, like your favorite 90s character, or talk about your favorite movie from the 2000s and ask what theirs is. Things of that nature. Once again, you're trying to do two things here. You want them to get to know you and like you, because that makes them much more likely to buy from you, right? But then you also want to get to know them as well. The better you know them, the more you get connected, the better you know how to have conversations with them and what they need. Once again, when it comes to sales, you have to interact with them, like through your written content, through lives like this, at least half a dozen times, maybe more, depending on the price of your product, before they will follow through on a sale. So you got to keep showing up, you got to keep being in their life, and you got to keep getting to know them. This really is important for your game. Again, it feels weird to share a post about, like tell about your first car. Here's what I remember about mine. No, what about yours? What was your first car? It works. It works. It's part of the relational element of your content, making connections, having conversations, getting people to know and like you, and eventually buy from you. So that's the second type of post. First is engagement, to bump your algorithm and have conversations. Second is personal, so they get to know and like each other better. The third one is value. Now this is something that I actually do a lot of research on, and I'll go into more about like how I do the research in a minute. But what I mean by a value post is you're trying to solve one of their problems related to your work in a single post. So I use this example a lot when I talk in my videos, but for example, connecting your bank feed to your bookkeeping. So what you can do is you can either write that out in a post, you can find an article and link to it. It goes into more detail. That's a really good way to help solve a more complex problem in the shortness of a social media post. You can share a video on it. I've found lots of good videos, and I'll go into that more in a minute. If they're your videos, if it's your blogs, even better. You're pulling them back into your world, into your content. But even if you're curating content, that's kind of the term for it, isn't it? You're still helping them solve a problem. You're still a source of solutions for them. And you're making sure that you are becoming the voice in their feed that solves this particular problem. So for example, it's like, I'm a content provider, I'm a content strategist, so I want to be the content expert in your feed. I want to be the person that you receive help from. I want to be the person that you trust for this, because this is another way I build my relationship with you. I do care about you, I do like you guys quite a bit, but it is strategic too, and you can do it on your feed as well. Jess, you're too sweet. Oh man, I research this stuff like a mad woman. And yeah, I definitely love my niche of bookkeepers. We'll see, maybe someday I'll expand to a different niche. We will see. But this is where I am. I love my bookkeepers, and this is where I'm at. Anyways, so with value posts, you want to share something that helps people solve a problem and make yourself the expert, make yourself helpful. And you don't want to overly sell yourself. A good double thing you can do with value posts that I would encourage you, once you have a good value post, a good article, a good video, whatever it is, even if you have like a good post that you wrote yourself, copy and paste it. People are in different places, even on Facebook. So for example, I encourage like my content members to take the value posts. You know how you're in Facebook groups, it could be an entrepreneur group, it could be a local business group, whatever it is. You can take the content, and you can't really sell in a lot of those groups, right? It's just like no spam, no promo, stuff like that. What you can do if you're in this group consistently, take your value post, keep solving those problems, and just share them. Say something like, hey, I saw someone else ask about, this problem. They were confused about how to connect their bank to their QuickBooks. Here's a post on it. If I can help any further, let me know, but I hope it helps. And it's just a real subtle way of just being helpful, getting known for something. Again, this takes time to build up, but it does matter. And so the value is part of building yourself as someone they want to buy from. Just because I'm posting cat videos doesn't mean I can sell, a writing service later on. It's just like, well, how do I know you know what you're talking about, right? I want to build that trust with you. I want to build that dialogue with you over time. And so that's why I have these value posts. And a lot of times in the membership, it's a written post solving a problem, and then a lot of times linking back to an article or a video that goes into it more robustly. Again, you only have so much room on a social media post. All right, so engagement, personal, value. The last one I always include is sales. Here's the thing. The very simple truth is, if you don't ask someone to buy, they will not buy. So what you've done after you've gone through the engagement post, the personal post, and the value post, putting yourself as a likable person, a helpful person, you are basically earning the right to sell yourself. This is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you've been putting yourself out there, interacting with them, building relationships, showing that you're helpful in what you're talking about. You've earned the right to have a sales post. So I have a listing exercise that I use. I use it for the value post. I also use it for the sales posts. Now, over time, I've gotten really dialed in on my client avatar. If you don't know what that is, let me know. I have a worksheet I can send to you. But basically, I have a client avatar in general for people who would hire bookkeepers. I've had that dialed in, and I use it every freaking week. And I have things listed out in there. So I have a previous live, you can find it on my YouTube channel and things of that nature, going through a listing exercise about how to put together a listing exercise for your value posts, is I think what the YouTube video is called. Anyways, but you can do it just from this video too. So what you want to do is you just want to list out things, and then from that list, you can create a really good sales post. Because once again, you're trying to talk to them. You want to talk to them to what they're feeling, what they're needing. Not what you think they're needing, what they're needing, what they're feeling, what they're actually working towards. So here's a couple of different lists that you're going to write out. One, list out common questions your clients ask you. Are they always struggling with reading financial reports? For example, I created a lead magnet on that recently because that's a common thing that people ask about their finances. Write down at least 3 goals they're trying to achieve through hiring you. For example, they want a more profitable business. That's why they're hiring you as your bookkeeper. Also list out at least 3 pains they're trying to avoid. Why are they hiring you? What are they afraid of and wanting to prevent by hiring you, like losing their business? And then I want you to get into the deeper why. I actually just wrote a post, one of the posts that I added to the membership on Sunday talked about this. You want to get into the deeper why of the goals and the pains, because it's good to talk to, you don't want to lose your business, you want to have a more profitable business. People buy emotionally. So remember that when it comes to this stuff, you want to get down to the emotional level. Take your list of goals, take your list of pains, and ask the question, so what, twice. Okay, one of the goals, they want a more profitable business. Okay, so what? What would it mean for them to have a more profitable business? Okay, they'd have more money. Okay, so what? What would they use that money for? To get out of debt, to send their kids to college, to go on vacation. And then it becomes more emotional, then it becomes more real world, and you want to talk to that level of thing, right? And then once again, do the same thing with the pains. Okay, what's a pain they're trying to avoid by hiring you? Okay, they don't want to lose their business. Okay, why? What would happen to them if they did lose their business? Well, they use their business to pay for their family's bills. They may go into foreclosure. They may not be able to afford everything. They may have to move. Okay, why is that a bad thing? Well, they want a comfortable life for their family. They want to provide for them. They want their dream job to pay off. All of these things. Once again, you're talking to the emotional things. You want to make sure it connects, because even though they kind of understand it, you really have to make that connection. You never want to assume, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to understand exactly the benefits you're going to give them. Not just listing your services, not just listing out, like I reconcile 14, 3 accounts and 50 transactions a month. That doesn't mean anything to them here and here. You need to drill down. And once again, once you make this list, keep it, reuse it. It's what I use for sales all the time. Once you have this list, there are 2 copywriting formulas I use all the time. One is BAB and one is PAS. BAB is before, after, bridge, and PAS is problem, agitate, solve. So before, after, bridge means you're saying, this is what your life was like before having me. This is what your life is like after having me. I'm the bridge to the solution, okay? PAS is pretty similar. It's problem, agitate, solve. So here's the problem in your life, and you agitate it by saying, here's why it's really a problem. So once again, you could be doing those 2 levels, the why, so what, and then you present yourself as the solution. So you play a part in helping them save up for their kids' college fund. You play a part in helping them pay off their mortgage faster. You play a part in helping them keep their dream business alive. Do you see how much more compelling that is than just saying, I reconcile 3 accounts and 50 transactions every month? Do you see how it feels totally different? And it's absolutely 100% true. These are the benefits you're giving to them. It's just making sure that they understand it in a way they feel, because people buy emotionally. So those are the 4 different types of posts I do. That's how you write those types of posts: engagement, personal, value, and sales. Now, how do I keep coming up with this every week for 20 weeks? I'm not gonna lie, I have 1 day every week completely devoted to this membership. I do research, I read, I watch videos, articles. The biggest thing that I do, and that you can do too, especially because you're in this business for the long term, have a swipe file. This is something that all good content writers and copywriters have. Basically, as you come across good stuff, squirrel it away like you're a little rodent putting away nuts for the winter. You want to store up the good stuff. So I have a swipe file full of copywriting formulas. That way, when I can't get my brain around this sales post stuff, I can look and be like, okay, I have this BAB formula, before, after, bridge. Okay, I can write my sales post like that. So that helps me with that kind of stuff. Not only that, like I said, this listing exercise, I've had this thing and I've refined it and added to it over and over again for the past 20 weeks. Have that in your arsenal. Don't just write a good post and lose it. Keep that stuff. Refer back to it. And not only that, I hoard videos, sources, articles, statistics. If I find it, I keep it. I have stuff squirreled away for weeks and weeks to help me keep putting out good content, right? Um, something I know that is a good tool. I haven't used it as much. It doesn't snap as much for me. Evernote is supposed to have a good like Chrome plugin where you can kind of like snatch content, snatch screens, screen grab, stuff like that. That's supposed to be a really good one for organizing stuff. And I also find sources, like I told you about curated content, I find good sources. QuickBooks, not just the US website, but also the Australian website has good videos. So I go find videos from them to add for the value. TurboTax has good ones for taxes, both videos and articles. Bench is beautiful. Here I am spilling all of my secrets, but once again, it's a lot of time. FreshBooks has a blog, things of that nature. I find the places where good content is already curated and I bring it to you. I have it squirreled away in my little collection. So make your own collection, make your own swipe file. And also, of course I'm connected to a million accountants, bookkeepers, EAs, whatever. And I see who's putting out content. And even them are like, even coaches sometimes, they're not bookkeepers, but they'll say something in a really profound, clear way. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I'll screenshot it, I'll copy the content. I will not copy and paste it into any of my content, but it's great inspiration for my own stuff later. It's like, that's a great structure, that's a great concept, that's a great example. And I can go back to that great content and it'll help jumpstart me later. I go back to my little collection of content nuts. So that is how I keep coming up with the content. I keep collecting it. I know that I have to have this over the long haul, and I keep feeding my content collection. So here's my suggestion. One of the things I've found that really helps me in my business and for the membership is I do the same categories every week. So whatever you do, have a recurring pattern. Don't try and reinvent the wheel every time. Decide that, okay, I'm gonna post 3 days this week. That feels reasonable, and it'll be one personal post, one sales post, one values post. And I'm gonna do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do it every week. Just doing that much really takes a lot of the pressure and decision making out of your head, I promise you. So if nothing else, just pick a simple schedule. Don't worry about perfect, because perfect does not exist. Just get consistent and try and get that balance. Again, there's the 80-20. Be valuable, be personal, and don't forget to ask for the sale, because you'll have earned it by that point. Or if you don't want to do any of this stuff, if you don't want to put together a swipe file and go hunting through QuickBooks videos for useful stuff, you can just sign up for my membership. Once again, here's me providing value. And then also, if you don't want to do this yourself, it's okay. I do this every freaking week, and I'm gonna keep doing it every freaking week. So once again, it's $97 a month. For the rest of October, you get access to everything, every word, the moment you sign up. But that is going to change at the end of October, and in November it's going to split into 2 categories. In order to get all of the content, it's going to jump up to $197. There still be a $97 price point, but that'll just have a 90-day look back. So I still wanted to have something at that affordable level that was useful. But if you want the full kit and caboodle, it's a lot now. It'll be $197 starting in November. So that is what I have for you. That is how I put together the content for the content membership, and how I'll keep doing it, how I'll keep making it fresh and interesting and useful for you from now for the foreseeable future, indefinitely. So anyways, that's what I got for you today. I hope it helps you if you're bootstrapping your own content. It's a good strategy place to start. It's just keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Don't try and perfect it. Just try and be consistent. Anyways, much love to you all. I'm going to head out of here, and I will talk to you guys again next week, okay? Bye.